Hi, it's Mark from Top Local. We're here with Bernie Pollock, Pollock Automotive in Vancouver. We're talking cars. How you doing, Bernie?
I'm doing very well.
So we're going to talk about a Mercedes S500 wiring harness replacement. What was going on with this car?
Well, this car was brought to us. It's been a client of ours for a couple of years, and he had an intermittent issue. The car sits in a garage for a long time. Takes it out for a drive, uh, maybe for 15, 20 minutes, stops the car, gets back in, drives it, runs really rough for a while. It had been serviced at the dealer. The very low mileage car, previously, I think just exclusively serviced at the dealer. They'd replaced some distributor caps, a few things, but still the problem persisted. And what we figured that was likely based on the symptoms, that there was a wiring harness problem, which is a fairly common issue to these vehicles.
So wiring harness replacement sounds like it could be pretty expensive.
It is actually extremely expensive. Not really as labor intensive as you might think on this vehicle because of the age of the vehicle, but the part itself is extremely expensive. But what happens with this wiring is it actually disintegrates. It's a defect that Mercedes has had from about 91 to 96 model years, sometimes extending into 97, from what I read. And basically, the wiring the insulation, they use some kind of type of insulation that basically flakes apart. And there's really nothing you can do about it. I'll share a couple of photos. Here's our 94 S500. I mean, real nice condition, four-door sedan, lots of leg room, front and back, very luxurious features for a car of this age. So this is the complete engine wiring harness. This is the old one that we removed from the vehicle. Basically, this harness goes from the fuel injection computer, it goes to all the various sensors and also the fuel injector. So that's kind of primarily what it controls. This vehicle being the 94 vintage, it also has an ignition computer, which is a separate thing. Doesn't seem to be any issues with the wiring on that particular side of it, but it's with this particular wiring harness. Now let's have a look at some of the wiring. So this, if you can see here, this is the wiring connector to one of the fuel injectors. If you can see, this insulation is just basically broken right off the wire. And another view here. This is what the plastic cover stripped away. You can see the insulation is just cracking all the way up. This is happening on every one of these wiring connectors. So basically, what we figure was happening with this vehicle, and we don't know for certain, is that sometimes when you run the vehicle, a wire would short out or something, a bad connection would occur, and that would cause the engine to run roughly. Incidentally, it never happened when I drove the vehicle, and I drove it quite a few times, but this is the kind of nature of intermittent problems. Now, again, it was one of these things where we replaced it because there's no other obvious fault, and the wiring is such an obvious issue that it makes sense to do it. The other thing that can happen with this particular issue is that if these wires short out, it can cause failures of other components. Like it could actually blow the ECU. Extremely expensive. So if you're going to keep the car and you want to do it, you got to fix the wiring first.
So I think you mentioned this, but this was a certain range of years, all different models of Mercedes in those years?
Yeah, all models of Mercedes from 91 to 96, and I'm reading somewhere into 97. So anything around those kind of model years is when that insulation happened, is bad. Yeah, and it affects all models, anything from a 4-cylinder C series up to the S, any AMGs, anything, it affects them all.
So would it have been maybe more cost effective to just have insulated those wires?
Well, there's a lot of them and they all deteriorate. So unfortunately not. I mean, I guess if you really wanted to go cheap and you're really handy, you could probably take the wiring harness apart and replace each individual wire. But with all the connectors on there and the precision that's involved in all these components, it just makes more sense to replace the complete harness. It's not a cheap part. Only available from Mercedes, or there are people who actually custom rebuild them, but the price is less. But I don't know. I just trust the OEM harness a lot better, and the new ones have been redesigned not to rot, which is an important thing.
So this is a 94, getting pretty old. Was it worth doing this repair?
Well, that's a good question, and it really depends on the car. I mean, for the owner of this vehicle, there was some some sentimental value. The car is very low mileage. I mean, only 57,000 kilometers. Essentially, it's like a brand new car still. So, really well maintained. So, if you care about the car, I mean, it's a nice quality. Mercedes are nice quality vehicles in any model line. It really, it's really how much do you care about the car? And I mean, there's certainly some models like an AMG or an SL series that are still worthwhile, and some are collectible. So they're definitely worth the money. You just got to sort of assess it yourself. For a C series car, four-door sedan, probably not. But for a nice one, yeah, it'd be worth it.
I've actually ridden in one of these, so these are a very, very nice car.
It's a super nice car. I mean, it's got some amazing features like little blinds that go up on the back window, so you don't get sun shining in, and the legroom for the legroom in the back. Again, you could take four large men and put it in this car, and they'd be extremely comfortable driving right across the country. So that there's something to that. Even the back seats recline, and those are amazing features for a 1994 car.
So there you go. If you're 94 or early 90s vintage Mercedes is showing some issues, you want to call Pollock Automotive. They can look after you. You can reach them at 604-327-7112 or check out their website, pollockautomotive.com. Thanks, Bernie.
Thanks, Mark.